The X-Men movies have come to a screeching halt. They end with a bang, like a bad explosion where a bunch of people are killed that you like.
Like a wet fart that kills many people. You're like, I'm just gonna squeak this out. No one will notice. That's X-Men Dark Phoenix.
I don't think it's the worst movie ever made.
I don't
even
think
think it's the worst X-Men.
Yeah.
But the thing is...
It's a big finale and it should have been better, is all I'm saying.
Logan felt like a definitive ending to the franchise. Remember they turned the cross to an X?
Yeah.
It was a metaphor.
But also literally a thing you
two
put on a
things.
grave. It was two things,
yeah.
Yeah.
And because before that, people didn't like Apocalypse and then went, wow, what a great way to end it, because Hugh Jackman's kind of been the star of most of these movies and whatever. And
Yeah,
then
what a great send-off.
That's right. But then they
Let's have another send-off.
But it's not even really a send-off because it didn't feel like it's supposed to end now. And I know the New Mutants is coming at some point, or is it?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I thought we'd run through some ideas of why this franchise fell down in parts. Because I think there is a reason why it hasn't sustained itself the way that other franchises have. I'm talking about the MCU specifically.
For sure.
Because most franchises fall down, let's be realistic.
Yeah, I mean, they can't last forever, can they?
But yeah, I think there's probably about half of these movies I enjoy.
Yeah, for sure.
But I can kind of point to some definitive reasons why I think the ones that don't work don't.
I'd love to hear them and then comment on them, hopefully in an amusing way.
Great.
That's our system here.
Yes.
Why would we change it up?
I prepare, you just spin your wheels.
Yes.
We get to 10 minutes.
That's right.
Yeah. And just quickly, if you could give this video a bloody like, that would really help out the video, wouldn't it, Mason?
I'm not on YouTube. I don't know how it works. But
It
yes,
does, yes.
I'm agreeing with you. Yes, and. I'm a yes, and guy.
So this has been from day one, and I don't think it was a problem initially, and that is that they're kind of embarrassed to embrace the comic book nature and look of these characters.
Absolutely. They started with black leather suits and then...
Sometimes they'd have a coloured lining in
coloured
in the
lining. Sometimes they'd have, they seem embarrassed to be like, these are comic book characters. Let's make them comic booky and fun and colourful.
And there might be like a deleted scene in the Wolverine where Wolverine gets his costume handed to him in a briefcase.
Exactly,
But he doesn't put it on. And also it wasn't in the movie. Or the end of Apocalypse where they're like, we know you were wearing grey jumpsuits for this movie, but here's your colourful suits. And
which we won't see in the next movie, which was a real disappointment for me. Yeah. Uh-huh.
And look, in the new one, sure, they did have the X-Men costumes, but they didn't feel very distinct or interesting.
No, I think they were maybe a nod to Grant Morrison's new X-Men run. The costume looked very similar, but that's after years in the comics of super colourful costumes and individual costumes and what have you. And I think it was meant to make them look like a team.
Yeah.
But they were just kind of dull,
I
think.
thought they were a team because they were all walking together.
And
they all got off that plane together.
And most of them were blue.
Most of them were blue.
So that says team to me. But yeah, you're right. I think they start, like the initial ones, it was like, this is kind of cool and edgy because they're all black leather. Once you're familiar with the characters and you're settled into the idea of mutants and superpowers, crank it up a little.
I think they started to with First Class.
Yeah.
But then when Bryan Singer came back on board, he doesn't like that, clearly. So they went back. Another reason, creative interference. A lot of the worst movies from the series seem to have a lot of people from up top kind of enforcing ideas of their own or changing things mid-shoot.
Oh, yeah, right.
It happened for X-Men Origins Wolverine.
I feel
that was an absolute mess.
That's the biggest offender, and I think that movie also feels like a movie both interfered with and initially even built by committee, where it was like, what do people like? They like cool guys walking away dramatically from explosions. All right, put a couple of those in. Just unironic walk away from explosions. Just some real basic work, I reckon.
Absolutely. And they clearly went, well, Hugh Jackman's the most famous star in this. People turn that bloody dial up in the test screenings when they see his abs and whatever.
That's right.
So it felt very calculated, but also a very poor calculation. Like somebody's calculator was upside down and it just said boobs.
Nice.
You know what I mean?
Or abs.
Or abs. That's right, yeah.
And again... give us Deadpool in a nice costume.
Well, yeah, exactly. Well,
don't give us the name Deadpool and Wade Wilson and just hope we'll be like, that's good enough for us.
Yeah, I don't need him to say anything.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. Well, that actually brings us quite nicely into the next point, which is botched characters.
Yeah, right.
Like Deadpool, they fixed eventually because they forgot about it and then they seemed to make the movie in secret.
Yeah, right?
And then it became impossibly successful. But it's mostly, there's so many wasted opportunities here. And sometimes they'll get the look of the character right, say like Angel, just a big shirtless guy with wings. But they don't do anything with it.
Yeah, right.
And then you look at like Gambit. Again, they included him in the movie. They kept talking about this solo movie, which
I forgot that even happened.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Wow.
He was in a movie, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And then there's like minor characters where I feel like that could have been something like a Multiple Man.
Yeah.
But again, they don't do anything. They
used him once, yeah.
They were going to do a James Franco movie, but all that got cancelled when it moved over to Disney anyway.
Yeah, right.
But I feel like you've got all these characters that you can do so much with, and they've got different powers and personalities and costumes.
Yeah.
But you just don't really see.
And so many they just went.
It's mostly just Storm and Wolverine and Cyclops and whatever.
And so many, again, hundreds of characters, and so many they went. Okay, let's just have a guy and he can shoot bones out of his hands and he's wearing a black leather jacket and he's in the background. And maybe he can teleport as well, who cares?
Yeah, that's right. Because a lot of time you're not even really sure who a character is definitively supposed to be.
There's a few characters who could have been Cyclops. There's been a few Emma Frosts. Who knows?
Exactly. Another thing is they kind of botch adaptations or half-ass them. And the MCU do this as well, but I feel like when they change them, they change it to fit their universe and it works. Civil War, for example, it's not the same as the comics.
Infinity War, not the same as Infinity Gauntlet.
Winter Soldier's not the same. The first Iron Man's not the same. But I feel like they make it work for the universe they've created.
Yeah, right.
Here we've got the Phoenix Force movie twice, the Dark Phoenix movie. We got the Mutant Cure in the same movie as the Dark Phoenix movie.
Phoenix, yeah.
We got God Loves Man Kills sort of in X-Men 2.
That was X-Men 2, yeah.
Which is probably it's one of the better adaptations.
Yeah, and it's a good adaptation. They changed Reverend Stryker to General Stryker. I'm not sure why, but
so there are good examples. Like I think Days of Future Past is a good example of changing something almost entirely and making it work.
Yeah, right.
Logan as well. Logan is not Old Man Logan. Like, it's just that he's old. Other than that, they're not really the same.
Are you saying that when Hugh Jackman came out on that big old stage and he went, Old Man Logan, and people lost their minds, that it wasn't going to be a direct adaptation?
That's exactly what I'm saying.
How dare you, charming man, Hugh Jackman?
He wasn't eaten by the Hulk, like in the comic Old Man Logan.
That's a shame.
I still would love to see an Old Man Logan.
Yeah.
I've been pushing the MCU like anybody's listening, to do Old Man Captain America.
You've been really boosting up that Marvel Cinematic Universe, you know?
I want to see Old Man Captain America, because they're doing Old Man Quill, Old Man Hawkeye in the comics, but
I think you're right, and I also think, I mean, that's a function of adapting a comic book series to a movie. You only get 2 hours. You've got to kind of make the best of it. But I think, absolutely, just trying to compress years of storytelling, especially with Phoenix. The Phoenix saga went for years, and they just went, just give us the tail end, just make it go bad straight away, and knock it out, and people love it.
Exactly.
No, we won't.
Also, they fucked up Apocalypse and Weapon X.
They sure did.
There you go.
Yeah,
I mean, they gave him the helmet in the end, didn't they?
They sure did.
Helmet.
They had him scurry away with the helmet. But
there's also a bunch of stories they could have done. They could have done the Astonishing X-Men run that Joss Whedon did.
Yep.
The one that had Zorn in it. The guy who's
I
got
would
a
have
star
loved
for a
Zorn.
head. I love Zorn.
I love Zorn
I don't
too.
remember what the comic's called.
That's New X-Men.
There you go.
Yeah.
House of M, I'm told is very good. I've never read it, but yeah.
They could have done the Age of Apocalypse.
Yes.
Which is a one from the 90s where Professor X died in a time travel incident and then Apocalypse took over the world. That would have been terrifico, in my opinion.
The other thing is there's missed opportunities in movies that they were going to make and didn't. I recently did a video on it, but they had the rights to Daredevil, the Fantastic Four, Deadpool, all of these properties, and they could have done their own Civil War. They were planning to, and they went, let's just do some meandering kind of X-Men movies to kind of round out the series instead.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, you had these characters for so long, enough that you could have made your own team movies with everybody coming together.
Yeah, you could have done X-Men plus Daredevil.
You know? Exactly.
Yeah.
So they were going... anyway, I'll link the other video below, but they were going to do like Fantastic Four versus X-Men and whatever else.
Fantastic Four plus Daredevil.
Yes.
You know?
I know.
They could have called it Fantastic Four and another guy.
Ben Affleck would have come back.
You know he would have.
He wouldn't have. I got a couple more reasons here I think they've fallen down. One, they don't make enough money anymore.
All right.
And
well, that's on us, the consumer, isn't it?
That's right.
We should just buy 10 tickets at a time.
You're probably right. And the other thing is they're mostly set in a forest or a school and sometimes an abandoned facility.
Those are all true. Yeah. Set them in a different location.
Yeah.
Set them in Miami, Florida.
Please.
Get hot.
Yeah, get him some weather appropriate apparel.
Yeah, that's right.
Mix it up. So I don't know. Look, I don't think it's an entirely bad run, but I think there's a reason why less people than ever came out to see Dark Phoenix.
I mean, you say that now. It's early days. Maybe people will rally. Maybe the mediocre word will spread and people will get out there and see it.
Sure. I mean, in a lot of regions, they didn't even put X-Men in the title. I know in Australia they did, but in other parts of the world, they're just... What do I know? Nothing. But what I do know...
Oh, yes.
But what I do know...
Ooh!
Is that we have a podcast called The Weekly Planet where we talk movies and comics and TV shows. We recently did an episode on Dark Phoenix, a spoiler-heavy breakdown, review, whatever you want to call it.
There's not a lot to spoil in this movie, I don't
really
think.
Not.
Yeah, but we got into it in
right
depth.
into it. That's right. There's also videos here every Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday.
Ooh.
Why do people think that the X-Men series ended up kind of more whimper than bang?
Good question.
I'd love to know.
How could you fix it?
Yeah.
Could you fix this mess?
Yeah.
Aside from bringing it into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, if you were going to reboot we'll talk about this another time. But
do you open with Dark Phoenix again?
Yeah, right, exactly.
Do the Dark Phoenix trilogy.
Third or more times the charm?
Yes, that's
absolutely.
Right,
yeah. How would you bring this franchise back?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm at Mr. Sunday Movies on Twitter.
I'm at Wikipedia Brown on Twitter.
We'll catch you guys a different time.
Grab that gem, you guys. We'll see you next week.
Goodbye.